Just a stone's throw from the capital, it is the home of heroes and the refuge of the weary urbanite. Get on the bus and follow the streets that lead to Cavite province and discover the endless reasons to look south. The home of many Philippine revolutionaries and the cradle of the Philippine independence against Spain, the name Cavite in itself cannot be taken separate from the many instrumental events throughout Philippine history. Jutted out like a hook onto the China Sea, Cavite began as a small moorage. Its proximity to the capital was its undeniable advantage. By 1614, 4 decades after the port was formally founded by the Spanish, Cavite's role and influence began to expand, and soon its jurisdiction included most of the towns it occupies today. After being founded in 1917 as a province of the Calabarzon region, it is now responsible for 20 municipalities and 3 cities, all of which offer an experience that is distinctly Cavite. Behind the sword that paved the way for Spain to assimilate well into Cavite's culture and people was the influence of cross. The Catholic faith was a political backbone of Spain, which goes without saying that its influence is seen both as a cultural extension of Spanish traditions and a tool for colonization. Remnants of these can still be seen and visited today. Upon establishing fixed settlements in Cavite, the Spanish set out to build churches. The oldest existing church in Cavite is the Mahal na Birhen ng Candelaria in the town of Silang. Built in 1595, it was soon followed more than 2 decades later by the churches in Kawit, Indang, and Maragondon. Some were built from coral stone, others from brick, but all conform to the basic qualities of Filipino Baroque architecture. The Our Lady of Assumption Parish Church in Maragondon has recently been declared a national museum. Built in 1627, it was declared a historical and cultural site due to its intricate altarpiece and doors. Although the structures follow a similar form, each has a distinct story to tell. At the Santa Maria Magdalena Church in Kawit, Cavite, there is a lifetime's worth of significant events that had occurred here. It was here that a child named Emilio Aguinaldo was baptized. It was also beneath the church that a system of tunnels were built as a means for Emilio Aguinaldo and his revolutionaries to escape from his home several blocks away. The role of these churches during times of upheaval always plays a part in great events in Philippine history, as it was a means to legitimize the fledgling Philippine Republic. Visit the Santa Cruz Parish in Anza. It was here inside the Santa Cruz Convent, in front of this very cross, that Aguinaldo took an oath as the first president of the Philippine Republic. These churches alone may provide a great beginning for you to go and explore the province. By the 1800s and the 1900s, at the very height of the Spanish rule, the land of Cavite were divided into vast estates or Casa Haciendas. Some of the most notable ones that can be visited are the Casa Hacienda de Anza, the Casa Hacienda de Naik, and the Casa Hacienda de Tejeros. The Casa Hacienda de Anza in the town of Anza and the Casa Hacienda de Naik in the town of Naik were both at one point under the care of the Dominican order. At the time, the religious orders were tasked to manage government taxation aside from the moral and religious responsibilities. Although much time has passed, both still possess the basic architecture of the time. Visit the Casa Hacienda de Anza, a well-maintained home that has undergone only minor changes since it was built a century ago. The Casa Hacienda de Tejeros, now found in the town of Rosario, was built in the 1600s. It was the largest estate owned by the Augustinians in the entire country. Although only rubble is left of the original estate, the Casa Hacienda de Tejeros filled an important role. On the 22nd of March, 1897, it became the venue to the Revolutionary Convention headed by General Emilio Aguinaldo and what would be his new revolutionary government. Although it no longer has the luster of the original house, the Tejeros Convention Center intends to remind all of its historical relevance. But no Casa Hacienda or ancestral home has more significance in Cavite than that of the Aguinaldo Shrine in the town of Cavite. The first president of the Philippine Republic, Emilio Aguinaldo, had lived in this home for most of his life. This very house had been used as the center of many pivotal events during the Philippine Revolution, the most iconic one of which was at a window where the flag of the Philippines was waved to declare independence, a symbol of freedom that still resonates in Filipinos today. In his lifetime, Emilio Aguinaldo kept part of the home open to visitors. It is in this spirit that the house was honored as a shrine and is open to the public. Much of the original house has now been made into a museum in honor of the first president and the events that led up to the Philippine Revolution. The Casa Haciendas and the ancestral homes in Cavite may have once contained the wealthy, the influential, and the powerful, but today they are reborn, finding new purpose as schools, government buildings, homes, and shrines. In every town in Cavite, there lies a monument that reminds all the qualities of valor and the price of courage. Visit Imus Cavite, the capital of the province. Known as the flag capital, it was here at the Battle of Alapan that the Filipino flag was first waved. Along the streets of Trece Martires is an unassuming monument that the 13 martyrs that were gunned down in Fort San Felipe in Cavite City are honored for their sacrifice. While in the town of Maragondon, enter the trial house of Andres Bonifacio. The house has been turned into a museum where works of art and the hero's memorabilia can be viewed. A short drive from here is a shrine hidden deep in the forests of Maragondon. It is, locals believe, the same place where Andres Bonifacio was executed. The Bonifacio Ecotourism Park and Pavilion stands as a shrine dedicated to Andres Bonifacio. A huge sculpture bears the image of Bonifacio, the KKK, and the word Bayani or hero. The Fort San Felipe in Cavite City had been one of the most combat-ready naval bases in Cavite. First built in 1609, it successfully aided the defenses of Manila's anchorage against Chinese pirates and Dutch incursions. Today, it is a museum dedicated to tracing Philippine naval history. Off the coast of Cavite City is the tadpole-shaped island of Corregidor. About 48 kilometers from Manila, it served as the last bastion of American forces during the Second World War. Fitted with state-of-the-art artillery of the 1940s, the island of Corregidor was thought to be impregnable. Today, visitors come by the hundreds to see the Malinta Tunnel, the Pacific War Memorial, and the well-preserved battery cannons. In memory of great acts of heroism in the country, from monuments to shrines, museums, and ancestral homes, history is shared throughout the province. They remind all what Cavite is, a historic province with its own proud past. But the story has just begun. Next up, be part of Cavite's living history as you go through the people and places that bridge the gap between then and now. The province shows how past is intertwined with the present. Unlike other places whose histories have been relegated to pictures and books, Cavite experiences a history that is alive. Some families in Cavite can even trace their ancestry to soldiers of the Revolution. Even the mere mention of Cavite's proud revolutionary past quickly sparks the interest of many Caviteños. Nino Santi is the current owner of T.R. Santi and Sons, but the business he enjoys today began from his grandfather, who is known as a craftsman who fashioned Emilio Aguinaldo's scabbard. This same scabbard is kept on display in the Aguinaldo Shrine in Cavite. Being surrounded by history is no surprise that Caviteños take up the hobby of collecting valuable pieces of history. Head to the Malen's Bake Shop and Restaurant in Noveleta, where the collection of historic memorabilia will feed your mind as you excite your palate. Proprietor Rem Bunda is a proud Caviteño. Mixing his great interests in food, art, and history, allow him to walk you through their collection and inspire the Caviteño in you. But perhaps the greatest contribution to Cavite's historic collection can be found in the Gpr Museum, owned by philanthropist Jeronimo Berenguer de los Reyes Jr., the great-grandson of Crisanto Mendoza de los Reyes of the 1872 Cavite Mutiny. Find through its galleries one of the largest collections of rare authentic photographs taken of the Philippine Revolution. Their expansive collection includes an original photograph of the execution of Jose Rizal in Luneta and the first photograph taken of General Emilio Aguinaldo and his Vice President, General Mariano Trias. Scouring the world over, the difficulty in finding the vintage negatives of these photographs are no easy task, and that in itself is reason to visit the Gpr Museum. If it is true that to advance, one must take into account the lessons of the past, then Cavite is well reminded and prepared to move forward. Over the centuries since its independence, Cavite evolved to embody a brand of its own. In business, it is considered as one of the fastest growing economies in the country, with its foothold in manufacturing and export. Today, with several economic and industrial zones in it, Cavite is experiencing a rush of success and is opening up opportunities for all. But even amid huge strides in commercial enterprise, there is still room for small to medium industries to compete. The land that forms Cavite is rich, and compared to its neighbor, Metro Manila, Cavite's agricultural land area still has huge territories for agribusinesses. At the farm harvest in Anza, 4 hectares are dedicated to the Kabalikat sa Kabuhayan program, where local farmers participate in courses that provide valuable information on how to be globally competitive producers that create higher quality yields. Using methods taken from Japan, Taiwan, France, and Israel, and adapting them to local climate, Harvest believes there is business to be made in backyard farming. Backyard industries like the mushroom industry in General Mariano Alvarez and the vegetable farm in Magallanes are on a difficult route. Fledgling industries like them still have a long way to the top, but earnest attempts are gaining more and more recognition. From a simple system, the town of General Mariano Alvarez is able to produce about several hundred bundles a month. A long way to go, but if there is anything true about agriculture, it is that their season will come. And it has so for many agricultural producers. All over Cavite, you can have a healthy sampling of various farms that offer direct selling. Just one more reason to go through the province. In gourmet restaurant and deli in Silang, they believe food should not only be fresh, it should be organic. Leading in the production of organic farming, it began simply enough as a farmer's market. Eventually, it evolved into even bigger production with a campaign toward healthy eating. From pasta sauces to fresh herbs, it now supplies all sorts of organic products found in supermarkets throughout Metro Manila. It has even opened a restaurant as a quick stop for hungry tourists. But if fresh produce isn't what you're looking for, then let your sense of smell guide you to Alfonso, Cavite. In the Philippine cut flower farm in Alfonso, they produce one of the most famous flowers on earth, the rose. Alfonso's high-altitude terrain is ideal for flower production. Thousands of flowers are kept within huge greenhouses. But these are no ordinary greenhouses. Adapted from European technology, they are specially designed to be managed by computer, creating the perfect atmosphere. Eventually, the company believes it is ready to take it a step further and get off the grid by using solar panels to power their farm. On a good season, the Philippine cut flower manages to produce about 2,000 dozens of flowers a year. The move toward an environmentally conscientious business is slowly picking up, and it seems like many are quickly joining in. Ilog Maria in Silang is known more for its bees and bath products and as a staunch advocate for the environment. If others are moving towards solar power, Ilog Maria is moving towards wind energy. Installing a windmill, Ilog Maria intends to show how good businesses can be made and still be environmentally conscientious. On the other side of the province, the town of Rosario is also making its first attempt at rehabilitating its seas. Rosario's fishing port is one of the busiest in Cavite. Tons of fish enter and exit its markets a day. It is the main livelihood of many, but with so much taken, their resource had begun to deplete. In coping with this, they've invested in revitalizing their seabed through artificial reefs. Great businesses that can walk hand in hand with nature is starting to be a reality here in Cavite. And they start young. The Lyceum of the Philippines University's laurel leaf ceiling, in honor of former President Jose P. Laurel, doubles as a water basin that then recycles rainwater used by its central garden. Just one of the many ways Caviteños do their part. As the path southward opens and the development moves southbound from Manila, it assures that Cavite province is next in line. From its urban centers to the influx of schools, sports facilities, convention centers, Cavite is growing. Today, there are close to 3 million people living in Cavite, many taking stock in its development. Opening up along Cavite's main roads are a host of housing subdivisions. Through the South Luzon Expressway and the Daan-Hari Highway, enter Cavite. Around here, the built-up areas or extensions of capital act as a gateway to the province. The towns of Bacoor, Imus, Dasmariñas, and Carmona offer a move away from the congestion of the big city, but still being ever close to the capital. Cavite is not only a place for culture, history, and development, it is also a refuge of souls seeking rest, relaxation, and top-notch cuisine. Hotels and resorts that fit your liking can be found all over the province. A quick escape from the demands of the busy urban scene would certainly be a welcome change. Start off at Volets in Dasmariñas, Cavite. Only a stone's throw away from the capital, it is ideal for family fun that's light on the pocket. There are other resorts great for family fun like the Jardín de Postema in Anza and the La Traviesa Hotel and Resort. For business travelers, Cavite has many hotels to stay in while on your busy schedule. Stay at places like the Microtel Inn and Suites in General Trias. Access the hotel's facilities like Wi-Fi, internet, TV, and several quiet lounge nooks. And for some outdoor leisure, the Microtel has access to the Eagle Ridge Golf and Country Club, where a quick game or two can relax the weary businessman. For those heading to Tagaytay, the choices are endless. The MC Mountain Hotel is a cozy boutique hotel with rooms meant for families. For even larger groups, there is the Tagaytay International Convention Center, where room selections never seem to run out. But if you're looking for a priceless view of Taal Volcano, then Taal Vista will not disappoint. With its new wing that offers an unhampered view of Taal, it is a perfect place to stay for whatever the occasion. Tagaytay is the closest and most popular place to visit. Its mountainous terrain calling all to see its scenery. Visit the picnic grove and the People's Park and zip along the cable ride for freeing experience about the mountains. For a complete relaxing getaway, head to Alfonso Cavite. Known for flowers, its own blend of chocolates and tablea, and the Sonia's Garden, Alfonso inspires romance. The Sonia's Garden in Alfonso is the favorite boutique hotel among many. The serene English gardens, blending harmoniously with its 19 rooms and 13 cottages, allows peace and quiet as you enjoy the romantic atmosphere. But all throughout the province, places to enjoy abound. It is just a matter of setting out to find your own oasis. Head to Paradis Zoo in Mendez Núñez. Opened by the same people behind Subic Zubik, children of all ages will love to meet close to 200 animals that live here. Make friends and learn about the farm here in Paradis Zoo. Natural waterfalls are hard to come by as you move closer to the capital. Thankfully, Cavite still has theirs. Have a dip at the Balita Falls in Amadeo or the Tala River Park in General E. Aguinaldo and enjoy the refreshing embraces of nature. For those seeking an adventure, then the trek to Utod Falls will fill your craving. For your hours worth of walking through steep terrain and thick brushes, be rewarded with a cool dip of clean, fresh water. And while you're at it, make your journey through Cavite a gastronomical affair as well and discover the delights each town has to offer. For authentic, high-quality Filipino cuisine, start off with Josephine in Cavite. Although there is a branch in Tagaytay, the Josephine's restaurant is the original of this famous restaurant chain. Enjoy their secret family dishes like the mutian ng Cavite, a buttery soup that is unlike any other, and order Filipino classics like their version of crispy pata, the deep-fried pork hog that melts in your mouth. While there, stay at their water camp resort and enjoy a restful atmosphere. For old, reliable restaurants that aren't tight on the budget, you can never go wrong at Lolo Claro's Restaurant, a restaurant chain found in 3 towns within Cavite. Their fried chicken is unrivaled. In the company of friends, head on to Silano and eat out in the Balinsasayaw restaurant. There to eat the Balinsasayaw or bird's nest soup. And on the way out, don't forget to take with you a trinket or two. If you're passing through the town of Mendez, Nunez, sample their Jacobina. Though found everywhere in Cavite, it is said to have originated here. The Jacobina is a flaky cracker that is best served with the next item on our list of great Cavite food. Welcome to Amadeo, the coffee capital of Cavite. Choose from mild Liberica, fragrant Robusta, or mix it up with a fresh brew of Excelsa and find yourself buzzing through the town in high spirits. And when February hits, be a part of the Bahinis Festival, where the town celebrates through a free-flowing helping of coffee all day. In search of great desserts? Then savor the Samala rice cake in Cavite City. Made since 1945, the Samala rice cake, locally called bibingka, is an old family recipe. When in Cavite, eat like the Caviteño, who make regular stops here before heading to work, or take it as a snack in the mid-afternoon. Here at the back of this tiny stall, ovens are blazing. Made from sticky rice and coconut milk that are spread onto banana leaves, the Samala rice cake is a must to take home with you after your long journey through the province. For the adventurous palate, venture to Magallanes and have your fill of their tilbok. The tilbok is made from rice starch, condensed milk, muscovado sugar, and coconut milk. Combined, they form a gooey, sticky dessert that's more appetizing than it looks. The seas across the town of Rosario is rich, and they transform this wealth into one of Rosario's best exports, the tinapang salinas. Tinapa is a manual process of drying and smoking fish, and the Salinas factory follows a traditional method that adds to the great taste of their quality goods. A walk through the compound is an educational journey into a Filipino staple. As this journey ends, it can be said that there is no one way to describe a province as vast, as enriching, or exciting as Cavite. For its history, its people, and the amazing journey it could take you has always been there, just a ride away.